The story of El Chapo and his criminal empire has captured the attention of the world for years, and the arrest of his son Ovidio only added fuel to the fire. The Guzman family is known for their brutal tactics and vast drug trafficking network, making them one of the most feared and notorious criminal organizations in the world. Join us as we uncover the events leading to Ovidio's arrest and the chaos that followed. We'll dive into what his arrest meant for the drug trade in Mexico and the impact it has on those living there, so stay tuned. The drug trade in Mexico is a story of power, money, and violence. It's a story that touches the lives of millions of people and stretches far beyond the borders of Mexico. But the arrest of one man sparked riots so violent that caused a wave of chaos and confusion. Ovidio Guzman, the son of notorious drug lord El Chapo, found himself in the headlines when he was arrested by Mexican authorities in Culiacan, Mexico. The arrest sparked violent riots and a standoff between security forces and members of the Sinaloa Cartel, which was once led by El Chapo and is considered one of the largest and most powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, Ovidio's father, was a legendary figure in the drug world, known for his ruthless tactics, massive wealth, and multiple prison escapes. He made a daring escape in 2015, but was finally caught in Los Mochis the next year. He was brought to New York to face trial, and after being found guilty, he was sentenced to spend the rest of his life behind bars in 2019. Ovidio, like his father, was involved in the drug trade and had a reputation for violence. As a child, Ovidio, the son who would later inherit his father's empire, received a top-notch education at one of Mexico City's finest Catholic schools. He was actually born in the Sinaloa Cartel region of northwest Mexico, but was nurtured in splendor hundreds of miles away from his drug-trafficking father. But when his dad made his first daring prison escape in 2001, Ovidio's life took a turn. He dropped out of school and returned to Sinaloa, where he was raised by none other than his grandmother, Maria Consuelo Loera, also known as the mother of El Chapo. Ovidio, following in the footsteps of his father and older brother Joaquin, joined the notorious Sinaloa Cartel at the ripe age of 18, as requested by El Chapo himself. Ovidio's half-brothers, Ivan Archivaldo Guzman Salazar and Jesus Alfredo Guzman Salazar, children of El Chapo's first wife, Alejandrina Salazar Hernandez, also joined the cartel, collectively earning them the nickname of Los Chapitos, or the Little Chapos. For a long time, Ovidio was a mysterious figure in the Guzman family's criminal network. He only made a name for himself when he, his dad, and older brother Ivan were blacklisted by the U.S. Treasury in 2012. Despite the recognition, Ovidio kept a low profile until his arrest and dramatic release in 2019 brought him into the spotlight. It is believed that he was responsible for managing the Sinaloa Cartel's operations in several states in Mexico, including Sinaloa, Durango, and Nayarit. On a Thursday morning on 5th January 2023, an unsuspecting Ovidio was taken into custody at a high-security federal jail, along with 21 others, during a raid by Mexican security forces at a residence in the state of Sinaloa. The city of Culiacan was thrown into chaos with shootouts and blockades and rocked by reports of armed convoys and intense fighting in response to the arrest. Tragically, 3 members of the security forces lost their lives in the conflict. Gang members took to the streets, blocking roads and setting fire to cars, and even targeting the nearby airport. Some aircraft passengers recounted the horrible moment when their aircraft was caught in the crossfire as they prepared for takeoff, hearing gunfire ringing out just inches away. The violent unrest forced the closure of schools and airports in Culiacan, leading to over 100 flights being canceled at 3 airports across the state. The U.S. has long sought the extradition of Guzman, but there are no plans to transfer him to the same high-security facility where his father El Chapo is currently detained. Turns out this isn't Ovidio's first rodeo. On a fateful day in October 2019, his world turned upside down as he was arrested by Mexican National Guard at his home in Culiacan. However, the calm didn't last long as the Sinaloa Cartel launched a similar wave of destruction, setting cars on fire and kidnapping citizens in the city. This day of violence, now known as Culiacanazo, or Black Thursday, left 8 people dead and 16 injured.
I will say this, they defeated the Mexican army in Sinaloa.
Yeah, that was bananas.
Yeah.
When they
captured El Chapo's son.
Yeah.
And then the army gave it back.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you can have him back.
Sources say that despite the fanfare surrounding his capture, Ovidio may not be the backbone of the Sinaloa Cartel. Regardless of his reputation, sources and security experts believe that his brothers, particularly Ivan Archivaldo, wield greater power and influence. Hence, Ovidio's arrest is unlikely to disrupt the cartel's operations. Family ties are crucial in the functioning of the Sinaloa Cartel, as noted by Mexico City security expert Alejandro Hope. However, when it comes to being the driving force behind the cartel, Ovidio falls short. Will his arrest bring about any significant changes to the cartel's hierarchy? The answer is uncertain. The story of Ovidio Guzman highlights the complex interplay between family, crime, and politics in Mexico. As the son of the infamous El Chapo, Ovidio's life and legacy is inextricably linked with the broader issues surrounding the drug trade and organized crime in the country. His arrest and the events that followed serve as a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle to combat these issues and the challenges faced by those on the front lines. For years, Mexico has been grappling with the problems of drug trafficking and associated violence, with little sign of improvement. Despite the efforts of law enforcement and the military, the cartels continue to wield immense power and influence, shaping the social and political landscape of the country. In this context, Ovidio's arrest was seen by many as a critical moment in the fight against drugs and violence. However, despite the initial optimism that surrounded Ovidio's arrest, it quickly became clear that the situation was far from resolved. The violent response by the Sinaloa Cartel, with gang members setting fire to cars, blocking roads, and targeting nearby airports, showed just how deep the roots of organized crime run in Mexico. The fact that 3 members of the security forces were killed and more than 100 flights had to be canceled highlights the scales of the challenge facing those who are trying to combat this problem. In the end, while Ovidio may have faded from the headlines, the issues he represents will continue to be a source of concern for both Mexico and the wider international community for the foreseeable future. The ongoing fight against drugs and violence is a complex and difficult one, and it will take a sustained effort from all involved to make progress. Ultimately, Ovidio's arrest serves as a reminder that the drug trade and organized crime in Mexico will not simply disappear, and that the fight against these problems is an ongoing one that requires the commitment and determination of all those involved.
The replacement cartel is Jalisco New Generation. They're led by a former Mexican military officer who thinks that rather than don't shit where you sleep so that the people on your side, whenever you move into a town, you shoot it up.
Tell us in the comments, do you think the flow of drugs will be impacted as a result of Ovidio's arrest? If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tap the notification bell for more content like this.